last couple word problems here on 3-3. We're solving inequalities. We're going to read through this word problem and we're going to graph it right over here. All right? So it says, write and graph a system of 4 inequalities that describe how many of each type of ticket the club must sell to meet its goal. So right here, I'm going to write down number 13 where I have a little bit more room. So you can do this on a separate sheet of paper if you need to. Let's read through it here. Before I even get started, the graph has adult tickets right here. So what is this graph inferring? That the adult tickets are along the x-axis, so those are going to be your x values. Okay? Which means the student tickets are going to be your y values. So right here, put x equals adults, y equals students. It's referring to the number of adults and number of students. Okay? Now as we read through this, it says, the drama club is selling tickets to its play. An adult ticket costs $15. So right next to it, we're going to put like, hey, that's important. I'm going to put 15 next to the adult. And student tickets cost 11. They cost 11. And the auditorium will seat 300 ticket holders. Now let's think about that. What's the maximum number of people that can fit in that auditorium? We put x plus y. Could be 300, right? Does it have to be all 300? Very good. Less than or equal to. So right here, x represents the adults, this represents the students, and together the adults and the students could get up to 300, but no more than. So right there is less than or equal to. Now, the drama club wants to collect at least. Now, any guys, times you see the word at least, which symbol is the at least symbol?
Greater than or equal to.
That's right, greater than or equal to. So listen, they got to make at least, that's the symbol right there that always means greater than or equal to, which is at least, $3,630. That's what they got to make. So, this is where the $15 comes into play. You're going to write 15x plus 11y is greater than or equal to $3,630. Now you have 2 inequalities written. Now, wait a second. It said we had to have 4. What other inequality? Wait a second. How many adults have to go, technically? Is there a certain amount they tell us that has to be there? So your adults could be greater than or equal to 0. You could have 0 adults that attend the auditorium. How many students have to be there? Greater than or equal to 0. There's your 4 inequalities. So the answer right there for the writing part of the inequalities, that's your answer for number 13. Okay? You got to be able to read through a word problem and be able to interpret what it's asking you to do. So there's my 4 inequalities. Now we're going to graph them. All right? So we're going to graph these 4 right here. And we'll do it in the graphing calculator. All right? And we will do it without the graphing calculator. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do it without the graphing calculator. Just to show you how easy it is. Because listen, sometimes doing things in the calculator really just slows you down. And I'd rather you not have to be slow. I'd rather you be fast. And accurate and fast. So, I'm going to rewrite these equations right here. I'm going to put x plus y is less than or equal to 300. And we are going to solve for the x-intercept, and we're going to solve for the y-intercept, and we're going to graph this just using the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Just remember, the x-intercept, the y value, is 0. The y-intercept, the x value, is 0. Now, this is in standard form, everybody. Very easy to work with. Just remember your x-intercept is always the c value divided by your a value. The y-intercept is the c value divided by your b value. And what is our c value? 300. What is our a value? 1. So 300 divided by 1 is just 300. Over here, what's our c value? 300. What's our b value? 1. 300 divided by 1 is still 300. You just found your x-intercept and your y-intercept without having to do a whole bunch of work. Now, sometimes what I do on these is really easy. Watch. I cover up the y's. I make it equal to 0. What do you see x is equal to? 300. Cover up the x's. What is y equal to? 300. Okay? That's another way of looking at it. So what I want you to do, right over here on your graph, is I want you to plot 300, 0, and 0, 300. So right here, here's 300, 0 right there. 0, 300's right there. Connect these with a nice solid line with your ruler. Connect them. But I don't want you to shade. We'll talk about where it's going to shade, but I don't want you to shade just yet. All right, let's think about it. We're not going to shade right now, but let's think about it. This says what? This plus this, x plus y needs to be less than or equal to 300. If you guys notice that there's a plus sign in front of the y, if you solve for y, this symbol, this inequality, is not going to change. So it's still going to be less than or equal to. So everything here, technically below this line, if you shaded it, that's where everything would be shaded, where the hand is going up and down. That's where it's going to be shaded. Okay? Now, let's look at the other line. Move over here. Okay? I'm going to put 15x plus 11y is greater than or equal to 3,630. Once again, there's my a value. There's my b value. There's my c value. Show you how easy it is to find your x-intercept and your y-intercept. This is simply c over a. This right here is c over b. Now my c value is a little bit bigger this time. It's 3,630. My a value is 15. If you do 3,630 divided by 15, what do you get? 242. Over here, 3,630. What am I going to divide that by? What number? 11. And what do you get when you do 3,630 by 11? 330 is correct. We just found our x-intercept and our y-intercept, which makes it really, really, really easy. Just plot those 2 points, draw the line. Okay? So, wait a second. That's a little bit trickier. Let's look over here. 330, 325 is directly between what? 300 and 350, so just go slightly above. Just slightly above. There's my y-intercept, which we're going to say that's about 330. 242, right here between the 200 and the 300, that's 250. So 242 is just going to be slightly over to the left a little bit. Okay? Once you have it, make a nice solid line from this point just going straight down to that point. And then we'll talk about where you're going to shade. Now, where are we going to shade? See how this is a positive in front of the 11y? So that symbol right there won't change if we solve for y. So we're still going to go greater than or equal, which means everything above this purple line right here, everything above it would be shaded. And everything below the blue line would be shaded. Therefore, if you were going to shade this, you would have to shade everything right in that little sliver, which means any solution right here would have to be either on this line right here, any point that's on any of these 2 lines would be ordered pairs that work, or any ordered pair in between those 2 lines would work. All right? So go and shade that area, and then we're going to show you how to do this in the graphing calculator. All right? It's going to look pretty crazy, and you'll understand why I just wanted you to shade this and not everything. Okay? Because you're going to have a whole bunch of stuff that overlaps. All right? So, first equation. if I wanted to change the first equation to slope-intercept form, the blue equation, it would be y is less than or equal to negative x plus 300. That would be the blue equation. All I have to do is move this x over to the other side. The purple equation, y would be less than or equal to, if you're wondering how I get this, I'm going to take my negative a over my b value. That's going to give me my slope. What's my a value? Negative 15. What's my b value? 11x. And we already know our y-intercept was at a what? 330. So I just quickly changed. This equation into slope-intercept form. Now, if you don't know what the heck I just did here with the slope, if you're in standard form, your slope is negative a over b. How did we get to 330? My y-intercept, my lowercase b, is the c value divided by the b value, which we already have right there. So what I want us to do right now, in the graphing calculator, we're going to type this in. All right? And we're going to type this in the graphing calculator. So let's turn it on. We're going to go apps. We're going to go to number 5, which is our inequality app. All right? All right? By the way, in the blue, I want us to do, what was our blue equation? Negative x plus 300. And the red equation, it was negative 15 divided by 11x plus 330. Something we didn't talk about, but we didn't graph, was y was greater than or equal to 0. Oh wait, I got to go over here and change the inequality signs. Here we go. This one was less than or equal to, I believe. There we go, that's the less than or equal to. Okay. And this one right here was greater than or equal to, I believe. There's greater than or equal to. Okay. All right, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to change this color right here. One thing we didn't graph or didn't shade was light blue. We're going to do y is greater than or equal to 0. Y is greater than or equal to 0. You'll understand after looking at this why we didn't do all of this shading by hand. And then the last one over here, I'm going to go up here to where it says X. Press that. I'm going to change this color to green. So we can see this is going to be green. There we go. And I'm going to change this to greater than or equal to 0. Now, before I hit graph, everybody, we have to change our window settings. Okay? So if we go over here, and I look at all of these graphs right here, I need you to understand, all of these graphs we will not see on the screen because if we look at our window settings, we have to change this. We got to go from 0 to what? 0 to 400 and 0 to 400. And what's the scales? These are all going up by 50s, right? So what I need you guys to do right now, all right, is I need you guys to go to the window settings, all right? We're going to go to X minimum, we're going to go to 0. X maximum, we're going to go to 400. X scale, we're going to change them to 50, because that's what our graph tells us to do. Y minimum, 0. Y maximum, 400. And once again, our Y scale is going to be 50. So every single tick mark is going up or over 50 units. And finally, because I'm running out of time, I know you guys are trying to follow along, I'm going to hit graph, and we'll see what happens. There's your first one. There's your second one. There's your third. Do you understand why we didn't graph X is greater than or equal to 0 and Y is greater than or equal to 0? Because it's really, 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 really difficult to see that our solution area, our solution region, is technically right in this sliver that we did on our paper. There's just too much going on in the graph. Would you realize there's way too much going on? All right, so hold on. Here is the graph when we cleaned everything up and we took out the X is greater than or equal to or the Y is greater than or equal to. We just graphed these. You'll see that the graph is a lot neater, and you can see the solution region. Have a good day. Goodbye.